Hey everybody, welcome to the real United States and welcome once again to the National Mall here in Washington, D.C., where we are in front of the Korean War Memorial. Now, this war memorial is probably one of the more ornate ones here in terms of the figures. And it's interesting in the fact that the Korean War Memorial actually wasn't thought of or considered until after the dedication of the creation of the Vietnam War Memorial. The Korean War was largely thought of as the forgotten war. When the 1.5 million or so troops came back from Korea at the end of the conflict, the country was largely obsessed with peace and prosperity. So the Korean conflict was largely, the forgotten war. So at the time that the Vietnam Memorial was set, the idea came, hey, we should have one for our veterans from the Korean War. So yesterday here in America, we celebrated Veterans Day, and in many other places around the world, it was Remembrance Day or Poppy Day, the celebration of the armistice signed at the end of World War I, which was for many years here in the United States Armistice Day, but has since become Veterans Day, a day that we celebrate our veterans. Now, obviously we have a Memorial Day for the veterans that have passed. We have a Veterans Day in the fall to honor largely our living veterans. It's also for those who have passed, but largely for our living veterans who have done so much to serve our country. So this monument actually came into being in 1995, or that's when I'm not sure if that's when it was completed or that's when it was began, but in 1995. So a relatively recent memorial. They've, of course, like all these memorials, tried to do some interesting artistic things. The Academy black granite wall, which is like, 100 feet long or so. It's 8 inches thick of solid black granite. And all these pictures are actual pictures that were from the era that have been reproduced and sandblasted into the wall. And then, of course, the wall highly polished to give the reflection of the 19 stainless steel, larger-than-life figures here at the memorial. Interesting thing, usually these figures are not stainless steel. Usually they cast these in bronze. That's the typical material. For some reason, it was chosen to make these out of stainless. There are 19 figures here behind me. And again, the artistic part of this is by having 19 figures reflected in this black, highly polished wall, you end up with what appears to be 38 figures. 38 figures representing the 38th parallel, which is the dividing line between North and South Korea. So there are some, subtle little Easter eggs, I guess you'd call them, built into the artistry of all this. Now, the way they've placed these also, they've gone to a great deal of effort to place them as they're emerging from the woods. So we've managed to get here at the right time of day with the right light that you see the farthest figures in the shadows, and there could be 19, there could be 1900. You can't really tell how many are emerging from the woods. So it's kind of a nice artistic effect that they did with the landscaping as well as with the figures themselves. Again, I said these are larger than life. They run from about 7'3" to 7'6" tall and weigh about 1,000 pounds apiece. That's a whole bunch of stainless steel. And there's all these little subtle things. These lines of black granite between the groups, and these hedges that are juniper, which are supposed to represent some of the hardships of the terrain that the soldiers had to face during this time. Now, this whole thing is a circular monument with a triangle shape in the middle, and then up at the very pinnacle here, let's swing around, of the monument, of course, a flagpole with the United States flag at the top and the POW flag just below it, and then split by the triangle. The point of the triangle here at the top is a shallow reflecting pool, and it's actually here in two semicircles, half circles. And of course all the stats and figures and things, the number of dead, the USA lost 54,246, the UN 628,833 souls lost, missing 8,177 from the USA, and the UN 470,267. So all these little facts and figures engraved in the black granite around here. And as you probably saw as we were panning around the wreaths that have been placed here yesterday during the ceremonies for Veterans Day, and some flowers, roses, or carnations placed in the wall by pictures. So it's a very nice setting. Anyway, just wanted to bring you here and share this. We're trying to get to all of these different memorials down here on the National Mall. And, you know, there's a lot of them. There's monuments to all the major conflicts. There's monuments to many of the major services. The Marine Corps Memorial we've taken you to. There's one for the Navy and the Air Force, and all the different services have memorials. So Central DC is festooned with these large statements of remembrance to conflicts and organizations and people who have done great things for our country. So we're going to try and get through them all. And this is just another on the list, folks. So I hope you enjoyed this visit to the Korean War Memorial Veterans Memorial, here in Washington, D.C. If you like this, give it a like. And hey, stop in, drop a comment, tell us what you think. Just say hi, whatever. We love hearing from everybody. I try to get back to everybody I can. And as always, thank you for watching.